So, despite the closest thing the Empire has to a Skaven weapon team's army, I tested the full Gunpowder stack built around engineers, range buffs and absurd firepower, and the result is that most battles are basically over before the enemy even reaches your line. The funny part is that it's also incredibly easy to play. Basically, you just deploy once, in a particular order, and then just watch the artillery and guns do the work, while delaying enemy units with spells and summons. So, let me show you the army composition. First, you want Master Engineer for the Army General, and you want the Hochland Scopes trait, which increases the range of all units in the army by 10%. Next, you want an Engineer with the same trait, which now increases range of all units in the army by 3%. It's not essential, but it's nice to have. Next, you want 2 heroes, 2 wizards. You can go either double Lord of Light, Lore of Light, double Lore of Beast, or one of each. I actually like one of each. Next, you want 5 Nuln Ironsides. You can go with handgunners, but I think Nuln Ironsides are just better. Next, you want 2 Hochland long rifles. They are also not essential, but they are nice to have, as they have very long range, and they are good at lore sniping, single entity sniping, and so on. You want 4 to 5 Outriders, basic variant, not the grenade launchers. And the last thing you want is 4 Helstorm rocket batteries. So the good thing about this army composition is that you can recruit it and play it in any faction, any Empire faction. It is slightly better in Elsbeth faction and slightly cheaper, because the Elsbeth faction provides minus 15% to all gunnery units. It is quite expensive army, even in Elsbeth faction, but it's very, very effective, and most battles you will actually finish before enemies can reach your lines. So in this case, in this army comp, I have actually Amethyst Ironsides. They are completely optional. They are slightly better than basic Ironsides, but they are not essential. You can just use basic Nuln Ironsides as well, especially if you play any other faction and you cannot recruit Amethyst variant. So first things first, you need a Master Engineer for the Army General, with the trait Hochland Scopes. This trait increases range of 4 gunnery, infantry and cavalry units in the army by 10%. And then you need to specialize him in the top line of his 2 special lines, taking cartography innovations for campaign movement range, but why you actually want this line particularly is ballistics instructor. This one, on the battle maps, increases range of all your units by another 10%. So if you take a look here, currently they have range of 178, but once we jump into the battle they will have range of almost 200. This buff in particular is not shown on the campaign map, only on the battle map. Next, you want the Engineer Hero with the same trait, but this trait on the heroes now provide only 3% to all units in the army, extra range. The more importantly why you want this hero is Triangulation, which increases missile strength of all units in the army by 12%. He also provides the restock for his army, which is great. Then he has Master of Ballistics, which provides accuracy and reload skill in the range of 35 meters around him. And Extra Powder, which provides some extra damage, basic explosive damage and armor piercing explosive damage. It's also nice to have. Next, you want at least 2 heroes, 2 wizard heroes, to control enemy armies, because you will probably not use your engineers as a front line. They can intercept some charge if they absolutely have to, but more importantly they will stay near your units and provide reload and accuracy. And that's why you need wizards to control enemy units that are approaching you. So basically, the way the Skaven do it, they have the Plague Priests which summon clanrats, and they delay enemy units while the ranged units shoot them. The Empire doesn't have Plague Priests, but they have wizards, and the Light Wizard is especially good because of the spell Net of Amitok. However, it can be expensive. You want basically to overcast this spell to make it area of effect, It can be expensive spell to cast. The other option you have is actually Beast Wizard. He doesn't have Net of Amitok, but he has summons. And the first summon he has is Transformation of Kadon, and this spell actually summons a beast, summons the Manticore for 8 Winds of Magic, and you don't have to overcast it. And you can use it twice per battle. And he also has another summon, which is Kettle's Call, which summons Hawks. You also have 2 charges of this, so it's actually a bit longer cooldown, 120 seconds, but both of these units are actually quite good at locking down enemies. So another thing why I'm actually using the Nuln Ironsides or Amethyst Ironsides and not the basic handgunners, it comes down to reload speed. So the way the missile strength is actually displayed here, they don't do 91 damage per shot. They actually do, as you can see on the card, 8 base missile damage, 26 armor piercing damage, and some explosive damage. But this 91 damage is actually over 10 seconds. The value over 10 seconds. So since they have reload time of 4 seconds, they basically over 10 seconds shoot 2.5 volleys, which means they basically get two shots in 10 seconds. And if you take a look at basic handgunners, their reload time is double the speed. Of course, the other ones are boosted, but when you boost handgunners to the maximum, they can go down to reload time of 6 seconds. So when you compare 6 seconds to 4 seconds of reload time of Nuln Ironsides, you come down to the fact that Nuln Ironsides shoot faster. So why is that important? It's important to provide a stopping power damage. If you have a chance to, over the entire battle, use all of your ammunition, because handgunners have more models, they have 90 models, and Nuln Ironsides have 60 models, the basic handgunners will do more damage if they use all of their ammunition and not miss the shots, of course. Like if they shoot static target, we're talking target practicing, like perfect scenario. However, most of the time you will not use all of your ammunition. And what actually matters more is damage per second. So you have maybe 10 seconds to do as much damage as you can to approaching enemy army, and then they will charge you. If you have 20 seconds, the Nuln Ironsides will do 5 volleys of shots. 5 volleys times 60 models, that's 300 bullets shot, and hopefully they hit the target. And handgunners, if we calculate that they have 6 seconds of reload, then we will come to this number. So basically 90 models shooting over 20 seconds with reload time of 6 seconds. That's in 20 seconds you can shoot maybe 3.3 volleys. That's times 90 models. It's a slightly less than Nuln Ironsides, but that's 20 seconds. What if you only have 8 seconds? In 8 seconds, handgunners will shoot once, and Nuln Ironsides will shoot 2 times, maybe even 3 times. Okay, so that's the reason why Nuln Ironsides over handgunners. Of course, handgunners are also good, you can use them, but I think Nuln Ironsides are better. Okay, another question. Why basic Outriders? There are 2 reasons why. First, why Outriders at all is that because they are taller, they are standing on the horses, sitting on horses, so they can shoot over your infantry gunpowder units. The second reason why basic Outriders and not the grenade launchers is that basic Outriders are also good against large targets, and they can do decently well against infantry. So, and they also have slightly more range. So that way you actually have 4 to 5 units, maybe 3 if you want 3. This army is not set in stone, you can juggle the numbers around. But the Outriders, basic Outriders, are actually good both against large targets and small targets. That's the main reason why them. And the last thing, why is this army actually better in the Elspeth army? Of course, there are the buffs. If we ignore the Amethyst Ironsides and we presume that these are just basic Ironsides, there are a couple of buffs still here that help. So the first thing is that Outriders also help with control because they have Disorient. And the way Disorient works is that it provides speed debuff, minus 30%. So in addition to your wizards controlling the enemy, you also have slow speed debuff through Disorient. That also helps to delay enemies who are charging at your lines. And of course, another reason is that the Outriders also provide restock. So you basically have not infinite, but you will hardly ever run out of ammunition. So each of those Outriders provide 2 uses of restock for your artillery or any of your units. That way you can just shoot forever. But the most important thing, against most of the factions, you will not use even the half of your ammunition. So it is a bit redundant, but maybe in a siege or against 4 full armies, maybe you will need extra ammunition. So that way you can actually provide restock to your army. In addition to your hero who has restock and your lord who has restock. And lastly, in the Elspeth faction, all of the units do extra damage, like handgunners or Nuln Ironsides have more missile strength, more ammunition, some exploding damage. The Outriders have extra speed, and the Helstorm rocket battery has extra ammunition and fires extra rockets for each of these buffs. So that's the army, and now let's jump into the battle and show you how to deploy this army for maximum efficiency. Alright, so this is how you actually deploy this army. You want Hellblasters far behind, then you want Outriders a bit further in front of them. You need to watch out because Helstorm rocket batteries can shoot into your backline, so you want to deploy them slightly further up front, just to avoid friendly fire. Next, your Nuln Ironsides or the Amethyst Ironsides go in front of the Outriders. As you can see here, the Outriders have much wider deployment than the Ironsides, so you can actually take out one Outrider and add another Nuln Ironside if you want. Next, you want to take the Hochland long rifles. You can deploy them one on each flank, or you can actually deploy them both on the same side, as you prefer and as you see fit on the battlefield. So this is the basic deployment. You want to take all of the units and put them on guard mode and position them on a good spot on the map. Now this map is very bad. It has this hill here which blocks line of sight. Then you want to take your general. You can use it on the mechanical steed if you want. It's fine, because his main role is not to run around and kite enemies. You can even put him on a steam tank. It's even better when he is level 20. But his main role is to provide reload around him, restock for the army, and also shoot with his grenade launcher. And on the other flank you put your hero. He does the same. And he can also be on the mechanical steed. This one is on the barded horse, but doesn't matter. You can use those heroes, hero and lord, to intercept any charge if you see it necessary. If some units by miracle manages to survive the shooting and gets very close, you just take one hero and move him and give him the charge order to intercept the charge. And next you want to put each wizard in front of your army, a bit on the flanks, and basically you move them in front. You use Net of Amithok, overcasted or single cast if you see fit, to lock down enemies while the Hellstorms are shooting at them. And then with the Beast Wizard you can use the summon, Transformation of Kadon, to summon a Manticore and then charge the Manticore into the enemy, and you can use Kettle's Call to do the same. So here is the battle against rogue army of dwarves and some greenskins. There is a Manticore charging on the flame cannons, Light Wizard casting the Net of Amithok, while the Hellstorm rocket batteries are shooting at the infantry. Now there is a summon, Kettle's Call. It's there to delay approaching enemies. For the entire battle, I just basically leave the army at fire at will. I just give some shoot orders if I see fit. And now the enemy army is in the range of the guns, and the main reason why actually we are stacking here Hochland Scopes straight is because that Outriders have very long range of around 150, with Lord and the Hero providing extra range. So they can shoot together with Nuln Ironsides at the approaching enemies. And as you can see, the damage is just insane. Anything that enters the shooting range of Nuln Ironsides and Outriders is instantly dead. And this is the battle against high tier Norsca army with lots of flyers, monsters and cavalry. Tactic is just the same, using the light wizard for Natafamitok and the beast wizard for summons. And when you're dealing with such tough units like monsters or single entities, the double firing line of Outriders and Gunners is what does the decisive damage to enemies. Also, this army is really easy to use. You don't have to micro a lot, just use the heroes. You can observe the battles. As long as you position properly, there is not much micro you have to do. However, as you saw in this video, there are many maps that are not ideal for gunpowder armies, and sometimes you will have to redeploy mid-battle. If you want to learn how to do covered retreat and turn bad maps into wins, watch this video next. See ya!